hello. Ooh, I guess I'm super excited. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's been, gosh, well, how long has it been? Since like May, I think, since I've done my last live video. And I don't know, we're in October, June, July, August, September, October, 5 months. Oh my gosh, it's been too long. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, but it's just with, trying to juggle everything. I was like, and then finally I figured it all out. So I'm back, which I'm super excited to be back. I love doing these live videos. So it was so much fun doing them every day during quarantine, and got to play with all different kinds of baked goods and all that. So I decided I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it once a week for the foreseeable future, with different topics every week. So if you have ideas of things that you would like to see, I'm always up for it. So today, in the spirit of the season, I am doing pumpkin. Now I know that there's like that whole like team pumpkin, not team pumpkin, but I feel like we're so in the middle of fall that like whether or not you hate pumpkin, it's okay to be able to make it now. I like September 1st, no, like that's too early for pumpkin for me. I'm still in summer months, but October 21st, I'm like, okay, I can do some pumpkin now. So, and I am doing a recipe that is near and dear to my heart and my family's heart. We are making pumpkin cookies, and my mom has made these for us for years, and my brother and I cannot get enough of them. So when my brother actually suggested I make pumpkin cookies, so I'm like, that is a brilliant idea. So I am now doing pumpkin cookies for you guys, and I promise you that you will love them. They're awesome. They're so good. We have a nickname for them, but in the interest of not offending anybody, I won't say it, but we just kind of refer to it as a very addictive type of cookie, because they are. And they're usually, you can spoon them out bigger, but we make them real small so that you can just kind of pop them in your mouth. They're super soft, so they're very addicting. So anyway, I'm just gonna give people like another minute or two to jump on in case, somebody's got some stragglers. I hope everything is going well in your world. I hope life is slowly coming back to some kind of normalcy. It's been kind of a crazy summer, I think, for all of us. Just, trying to get back out there and try to help people celebrate their special occasions as they have them, as obviously we all know that they look very different these days, but people are still, I think, gathering and trying to spend time together. So, that's promising. I am offering a special right now for Halloween cupcakes. If you order through the Wednesday, a week from today, you have until a week from today to place your order for the Halloween delivery. And because I know that Halloween is going to look very different this year, with maybe no trick-or-treating or very limited. And so, there may not be as much candy in the little pumpkin that you carry around to door. So you could at least get something sweet and have some yummy cupcakes with Halloween decor and all the fun things. So that's for Indy area people. If you would like to place an order, you can message me directly. You can go on my website, or you can give me a call. Either one, any of them. So, all right, so let's get started. So, like I said, we're making pumpkin cookies. These are super, super easy. Does not take a lot of ingredients. Actually, I usually double this recipe, but I'm gonna try and not, because I'm trying to be good. Just a little, because I'm telling you, as soon as you start to eat them, you can't stop. They're just so freaking good. And I even had a pumpkin cookie this weekend. Somebody else made pumpkin cookies, and I've never had another pumpkin cookie other than this recipe. I really didn't know that it was a big thing, and it was good. And I think if I had not known what this one tasted like, I would have loved it even more. It was just slightly different. I have no idea, there was just a little bit different in taste and spice and all that kind of stuff. So, but these are just so good. So I'm just doing the basic recipe that I posted on my stories. So we're gonna take 1 cup of sugar, and I'm gonna put it in my mixer. If you don't have a mixer, you can mix this in a bowl by hand. It's not complicated. It's not like a lot of ingredients have to be broken down. Canned pumpkin, Now, I don't know if you guys have felt the pain, but there has been a pumpkin shortage up until like the last week or two. And I'm sure there's probably still not as much production, probably because of COVID, I'm guessing. But anyway, yes, canned pumpkin. You want a cup of that. Now, the thing about this pumpkin with these cookies is that this pumpkin is going to make them very soft. So you love pumpkin cookies. Yeah, I didn't know I mean, my mom has made them for years, but I didn't know that they were like a thing. So I don't know, like this has just always been the recipe, and I kind of felt like it was something special, but I guess it's it's just another recipe. So anyway, so pumpkin is going to make these cookies mega soft, which is part of the yumminess about them. So a cup of pumpkin, I just scooped it out with a spatula, and then I'm just gonna put it in here, and then I'm going to pour in a half cup of vegetable oil right here. And then I'm gonna let that kind of go to town for a little bit and get incorporated. And while that's happening, I'm gonna mix all my dry ingredients together. So I can do that, this. Now, if you use butter and sugar, you're gonna get a creamier mixture here. Oil and sugar aren't. It's gonna be just gonna look more like this, but darker and a little, I don't know, a little thicker. So don't feel like, I mean, when it comes to vegetable oil and sugar and all that you're mixing, it doesn't necessarily cream the way if you were just adding butter and sugar. So therefore, ergo, long-winded statement here, you don't have to mix it as long. So I forgot my bowl. Hold on, let's see, I've got one in here. It's been a while since I've done Facebook Live, so I'm gonna probably have a few glitches. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna do 2 cups of flour. If you remember, the way I do flour is I scoop. So I scoop, and then I scrape. I kind of make sure it's level, and then I scrape. Okay? Now, some people say that you should spoon and scrape. I think it really depends. I've got a really wide container here, so I think that it more evenly distributes. If you're trying to scoop it out of a bag of flour, it's going to be more densely concentrated in certain areas and not enough in there. So that's where I would recommend using a spoon. But if you've got like a wide mouth container like I do, it's real easy just to scoop the whole cup into it without it getting compacted. So, okay, so I have flour, and then next I want 2 teaspoons of baking powder. One, 2, and then I want a teaspoon of salt. So full disclosure, one time I made these, and I guess I rewrote this recipe in my little recipe book thing. I just make notes in here all the time about stuff. And I totally forgot to write salt, and I was just kind of like robotically doing it, and I made the cookies, and I'm like, these do not taste good. And realized that it's because I had forgotten to write the word salt, and therefore put salt in there. So luckily I remembered that. I always do it first now. So baking soda, I need a half of a teaspoon. And then you want to add your spices. I need a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now, if you're a mega cinnamon lover, you could, if you wanted to add more. But I think that this particular ratio is a really good one because it doesn't overpower. It's not like it's competing with the pumpkin or the chocolate chips. It kind of blends together. But if you really like cinnamon, feel free to add like another half teaspoon, or gosh, you could make it two teaspoons if you wanted. And then I'm gonna do an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, this is a 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm just gonna do half. I don't think I even have an 1/8 teaspoon. So I'm just doing, like, you can see that, just a half of that 1/4. Again, if you don't love nutmeg, you don't have to use it. It's not gonna be, you know, nobody's gonna come out and tell you you're doing it wrong. You make it how you like. So I'm just taking a fork and whisking this all together just to make it incorporated. And my pumpkin and sugar and oil combo is looking really nice and smooth. I want it to, let's see if we can do that. Hopefully you can see this. A little bit. So will you be posting your recipe somewhere? I posted it in my stories, but it's probably not there. I think I did it about this time yesterday, so I'll post it again. Thanks for reminding me of that. So I will post it on my stories on both Instagram and Facebook under my Eats by Chef Mel. So if you haven't followed me yet, then that's how you can get it. See that little plug I did? See? Oh, anyway. Okay, so now this is nicely like mixed and soft. Now I'm gonna add an egg and is it a teaspoon? Yeah, teaspoon of vanilla. You'll find that in most baked good recipes, a teaspoon of vanilla is pretty standard. So when in doubt, unless it's a really big quantity, you probably won't go wrong with a teaspoon. So, okay, so then I'm gonna mix that until it's incorporated. So we're just gonna wait a minute. So you guys, if you have any questions or any suggestions, feel free to type it on right now and then we can kind of chat while this is going. In addition, you can always chat or ask questions as I go along. And looks like it's pretty mixed up. Coffee break. And I'm back. Okay, so now I'm gonna add my flour mixture in groups of, like in thirds. And the reason for this is you don't wanna overwhelm the batter too much too soon, because you don't want to overwork your flour. I think I've talked about it and you probably have heard, like, gluten in flour, like the more you work it, the tougher it makes a product. So it's great for like breads and things like that. For cookies and cakes and that kind of stuff, you want just a little bit at a time so that it doesn't have to work overtime trying to get everything mixed. So okay, now I'm going to add a teaspoon of milk just to kind of get it a little dampened. And also milk has a little bit of, it has fat to it, so that also helps to tenderize it a little. It's not that much, so if you don't have milk or you don't want to use milk, I mean, your cookie might be slightly drier, but I don't think that it's the amount of milk that's in here, a teaspoon, is gonna make that significant of a difference. So, okay, so now I have added that. I'm just gonna scrape my bowl down a little bit. And then I'm gonna add my chocolate chips. Oh yes, chocolate chips. I don't know what a pumpkin cookie without chocolate chips would be like. I'm sure it would be delicious, but I'm just gonna go with this one. Okay. All right. And with this, I like to just stir it by hand because it's not, you don't want to work that dough too much again, this batter too much. So just lightly folding in your chocolate chips will make it a little bit easier. So I have semi-sweet chocolate chunks. I prefer the semi-sweet chocolate chips. I actually think that's what part of the cookie I had this weekend. I think it wasn't a semi-sweet chocolate chip. And it just had it was an awesome cookie. I just think that I prefer the taste of a semi-sweet. But use whatever you like. You can use dark chocolate, you can use milk chocolate, you can use semi-sweet. I happen to have some semi-sweet chunks, so that's why I'm using these. So, and it is 1 cup. And then, the most controversial ingredient of all, nuts. Now, if you are in my circle of family and friends, you will know that this is a very debatable ingredient. Personally, I love nuts in my cookies and all baked goods. If you do not like nuts, you do not have to add them. I am adding some because they're awesome. Now, I'm just going to just kind of fold these in, and it's a nice, easily stirrable cookie dough. Like sometimes, like if you make like traditional chocolate chip cookie dough, it can be really tight. But this is, you know, I mean, it kind of easily falls off like that. So that's part of that pumpkin that's gonna help to keep everything soft. So let's see. Okay, so then obviously, and on it, and you know, another thing I will tell you about these cookies are, first of all, the cookie dough. I love to eat cookie dough. I know that some people don't like that, but I do. I grew up on it. I'm still alive, but this isn't the best cookie dough to eat. It's not as good. It's like it needs to be baked. And then with that, I would say these are not their best right out of the oven. They need to sit for a little bit. So if you want to make them and eat them in like a few hours, then they're actually tasting better. And if you even wait, like if you put them in an airtight container, if you wait till the next day, oh my God, they're so good. They do stale quickly, and they will crumble quickly. So just keep that in mind, that if you want to keep them fresher longer, you might put them in the freezer after you've baked them, and then just pull out what you want for when you want it. Okay, so to scoop cookies, you can do it one of two ways. You can use a ice cream scoop, or you can use 2 spoons. Like I said before, we usually in my family make them in like little drops so that they're just kind of poppable in your mouth. And so you can do it a couple of ways. You can just like put like a little spoonful, right? Like kind of like a spoonful of peanut butter, and then put them in. And then now that's gonna give them kind of that like lopsided round mound cookie. Hey Maria, I know, right? Is Jason drooling? Because I'm doing this for him. He should know this. Or you can use, if you like a little bit rounder of a cookie, you can use these are just scoops, or ice cream scoops, whatever. In the commercial world, they're just scoops. Now the thing about these pumpkin cookies as well is that they don't spread very much, like a chocolate chip cookie. When you mound it, right, it kind of spreads. These are gonna hold. They're gonna spread a little, but they're gonna hold their shape however you scoop them. So just keep that in mind. Like if you have a preference, I'll do both, and then after I bake them, I will show you on Instagram stories what they look like, so that you can see a difference. It really isn't a big deal either way. So, I mean, in fact, because they're so soft, because this batter is so pliable, it actually doesn't even look like they're gonna be that much cleaner or rounder with the scoop, but it's maybe a little bit quicker because you just scoop and sweep. So yeah, so we're just gonna do this. This is probably gonna yield, I think this yields about 2 dozen cookies, give or take a half dozen, maybe. It also depends on how big you scoop them. That's why I did not do a double batch, because if I did, then I would eat all of them in like a day. And I mean, I would enjoy it, but I think COVID has done enough for my waistline. So we're just gonna try and be a little bit better. So, all right. So this I have managed to put 3, 6, 9. I put a dozen on my tray. Ta-da! And I still have, yeah, I think this might actually yield 3 dozen, if you can kind of see how much is left, depending on maybe 2.5. I'm gonna say 2.5. Let's just break it down in the middle to be easy. And that's this size, which is about the size of a quarter in diameter. So that gives you any kind of idea on what size mine are. But again, scoop them as big as you want. I mean, if you want them bigger cookies, they're gonna be pillowier, and you know, they might brown a little bit because they are so soft anyway. So just kind of watch them in the oven. You want to bake these at 375 for about 8 to 10 minutes. So if you've got bigger cookies, you might want to lower your temperature to about 350. and cook them for maybe about 10 to 12 minutes, but check it at about the 8-minute mark and just kind of see where they are. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven, and then I will take photos when they're finished because I know what I'm eating today. And that's pretty much it for the first bake demo since May. So I would love to hear what you guys would love to see. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing this on Wednesdays, and Wednesdays at 11 o'clock Eastern. And I'm definitely planning on incorporating, next week is the week of Halloween. I'm probably gonna do some Halloween cupcakes, make it fun. Just show you how you can play with different colors and kind of different piping and things like that. And then I'm going to definitely incorporate scones because scones is my jam. And I'll probably do some things leading into the holidays for more holiday themed things so that you guys can kind of see different seasonal things as we did in, I think in the spring we did a lot of seasonal things then. And but I'd love to hear your ideas. I'm so glad you guys joined me. Like I said, I love doing these demos and I'm super excited to be back. And I hope to see you guys again here next Wednesday at 11. If you can't catch this live, it's going to be on my Facebook as well as my YouTube channel. So anyway, thank you guys so much. And I will post these pictures as soon as they're done. All right.